Months ago, I was asked on Instagram to tell more of my story because I'm pretty quiet about my life, my story, things that I've been through, lots of hot takes, lots of, Italy content, but rarely do I really get into my story. And I have sat on this for months and months and months because I don't know. I just don't know how to tell it. I don't know if maybe I'm afraid to tell it. Um, but here goes. Here goes, because you deserve to know who I am, right? Within reason. So I'm a single mom, and I think that's maybe the most defining part of my story, not because I necessarily want to be identified that way, but because it was a choice. It was a choice. At 21, I was pregnant in an abusive marriage, and by the time my son was 3 and my daughter was 1, my grandfather sat me down after hearing some things that this man had been doing to me. Man. And he said, "Jessica, in Africa, there's no creature more feared than the lioness. And it's time for you to be a lioness." And I don't know, that was what I needed to hear. That was what I needed to find the strength to leave. So I did. My kids are now almost 20 and 18. So they are living their adult lives. And in 2010, I got a breakup, and I decided that that was it, that I wasn't going to deal with men anymore. And the reason that I did that was because there was no way that I could be traumatized by men and not have my children feel that or be affected by it. So it was a choice. It was a choice to just abstain. It was a choice to just go, you know what? This has been enough trauma. I'm not doing this anymore. So I abstained. And what I did at that moment probably defined my whole life. Not only did I just say enough to the drama, but I said, my dad had said, you have 2 choices as a single mom. You can get remarried quickly, or you can work multiple jobs. And the implication of working multiple jobs is that I'm never going to be able to see my children. So I said, no, I'm not doing either of those. I'm not risking another bad marriage because I was financially desperate. And I'm going to be there for my kids. I'm going to be there for my kids, and I'm going to be home. I'm going to be home for my kids. So I figured out a way to work from home that allowed me to be there. And I used to work from like 8 p.m. until midnight. And, I have never subscribed to this idea that society gets to dictate my place in life. And it's a very privileged thing to be able to say, no, I'm not doing this. This is not my role. This is not how my life is going to go. I see something different. It's privileged to be able to say that, to be able to push against it. Okay, if there's anything that traveling full time has taught me, it's that a lot of people don't even have that luxury. They don't have the luxury of being able to say, no, this isn't my story. But it also requires a lot of strength. It's hard for it to go against what society says that you should be and you should do. It's hard to spend your whole life, right? Your whole life you are being formed into this cog in a machine. And they plug you into society, and this is how you're supposed to function. And society functions that way. But society also needs people to think outside of the machine. It needs people to think outside of the machine. That is a vital part of society, and that's what I'm good at. I'm not good at being a wheel in the machine, but I am good at going like, I don't like this machine. I don't like this machine. Can we create a new machine? Can we think about the machine in another way? So anyway, I raised my children, and right before COVID in 2019, we were ready. We were going to travel the world together, and I was going to world school them, and then lockdown happened. Actually, our flight was March 31st to London, March 31st in 2020. And so that got canceled and we got stuck, and in that amount of time they grew up and moved out, and so now I'm traveling alone. It's not been an easy ride, but the defining factor has been that I refuse to settle. I refuse to take the path of least resistance and say this is just what my life has to be. I refused. The result is, now I have income that lets me go wherever I want to go, and I can be at a place like right now I'm in Albania. The cost of living is extremely affordable. It's beautiful. And it just allows me to shape my life the way that I want to shape it. And that's kind of, where now that my kids have grown, where my purpose has shifted. It shifted towards helping other people shape their life the way that they want to shape it. Not everybody wants to travel full time. I'm not trying to, make everybody become a digital nomad. Not everybody wants to do this. Not everybody wants to live outside of the US. Not everybody wants to come to a place like Albania and forge an existence. But I do think that you should take the pieces and the knowledge, and you should forge a life that you actually want. And that's what I've done, blood, sweat, and tears through, the last 20 years now. And that's what I hope to inspire others to do. It's not really about Italy specifically. It's not about being a digital nomad. It's not about any particular type of income. It's literally just about the inspiration and the tools and the discussions and the community around creating a life that you actually want to be living. And the reason for that is, when you are living a life that you don't want to be living, it is soul crushing. And people who have their souls crushed, they can't help shape a better world. They can't. Society needs people who are alive. It needs people who are not crushed by the weight of whatever societal machine they're living in. And when you have those type of people, they can start to shape, they can be outside of it enough to start to shape better futures. And if there is anything that we need right now, particularly as Americans, it is a better future. It is a better trajectory. So that's my story. That's the goal. That's the plan. Podcast is coming. I've been asked about that a lot recently, but I thought that I would take the opportunity now to just tell you a bit of who I am, because I don't think that I've done that very well. So thank you for being here, and until next time.